Okay, so I actually have a Kenwood stereo double cassette deck, and the type is W6020. Now, as you can see, we have actually two tape compartments here, or two, yeah, I don't know how you want to call that, tape recorders and players. Now, I got this from a friend. Unfortunately, it's more or less for repairs, and I'm going to show you why. So on the left side, which is the playback part, and you see it here, it actually works. But you hear that sound? Doesn't sound healthy, right? And if we go this direction, we do not have that problem. So as you can see, you can switch the direction here, so you can play both sides of the tape. And for all of you who do not know about a tape, you see you either turn the tape like so. Let's do it like this. Or with a recorder and cassette player like this, you can actually choose the direction. So you hear this, and now it's actually getting more severe, and we are switching to tape deck B, and nothing will happen here, unfortunately. So you see it tries to start and then it stops. Same story here. It's not working. And I actually already checked the belts, and these belts seem to be fine. But it doesn't matter. Before we open it up, let's just have a quick look at the machine. So first thing you see, it has a timer. You can set a timer here. I did not honestly find a clock here, so I guess the timer, it's maybe triggered from somewhere else. Then you see the tape direction here. You can either put it on loop. I guess this one means reverse, and this one means that it plays both sides. Then you can change the quality of your tape. So it's the Dolby noise reduction. I guess Dolby NR stands for noise reduction. I hope so. Let's turn it off for the moment. Next thing we can see, it reads CCRS DPSS. Full disclosure, I have no idea what it means. And next to the power button, you see we have an old school phone check, or for not old school, so even new stereos, like for really hi-fis, they still use a phone check like this, and not the small 3.5 millimeter one. Then let's go here. So we see we have a little display here, which actually shows us the peaks of the tape. Then we have a counter reset, and then next thing here we have, oh, here it reads CCRS. So I'm gonna find out what CCRS means and put it in the description. Then you see it has a standby indicator, something called dubbing. So I guess dubbing, that's if you wanna copy music from here to there, because this one is the recorder part. Now the tape just stopped, and let's see what happened. The tape still survived, but for whatever reason it stopped. So okay, so we should be good now. The next thing here, we have a balance button, and this one reads center left to the right. So let's put this in the middle. Then we have a recording level here. And what do we have next here? So next we have the Dolby noise reduction here. And sorry, my furnace just kicked on, but it's pretty cold, so I leave that on. And then you see here we have the tape part B, and that's actually the one which reads recording and playback. And of course this one has auto reverse, and this one also reads auto reverse, but surely this one is not for recording. Well, let's just see if we see a difference in the tape head, and that is pretty hard to see, but let me just check that. And yep, what I can see here, this one has a, let me get a flashlight real quick. Okay, so I've taken off the screws. Now let's see if we can look inside. Alrighty. So now we see this baby from the inside. And so clearly we can see the two tape mechanisms, right? Number A, number B. Then we can see the power supply here, and then this one is the logic board. Alrighty, so if we go into the logic board, we actually see that there is a Kenwood microprocessor. I see a Toshiba microprocessor here, and this one actually reads record EQ, like equalizer B. So I'm pretty sure it has something to do with deck here. Now these two boards, I am not sure, but this one reads Dolby HX Pro unit, so I guess that's the Dolby logic in here. And this one here reads actually Dolby B-BC. So I'm not sure if the Dolby company actually supplied these two daughter boards or PCBs, however you want to call them. And what we also see, it's pretty good labeled. Now we see the two tape mechanisms here. Now I plugged it in again, so it's working. And what I want to see what happens actually if we put a tape in here, if we can actually see something in the mechanism working here. Let's just push a button, and so we see that we see nothing, but you can see that we have the, you see this, it starts spinning and then it stops. But as you can see, the belts look pretty okay. You know, let's switch to drive A, and let's just see what happens if we push play here. Of course, nothing. Why? Because we don't have a tape in there. My bad. Oh, and you see what? It just ate the tape. That is unfortunate and no good. Now it ate the tape, which is absolutely not good at all. Let's just see, just for fun, if we can untangle the tape. Last time I did it, it's maybe 30 years ago. And yep, and if I would have a third hand, then this would be fine. Okay, but the old toothpick trick did the job. Okay, so sorry for that. We untangled the tape. Let's put the tape in here and let's see what happens. Now you see the belts are running and spinning here. No problem at all. Let's see if we go the other direction. Here we have that noise. And it does not sound that good at all. However, this part actually, I tested, it also plays music. And this one is the concerning part here, which just doesn't play. So you see it starts and then it stops. Astonishingly, now it works longer than before. So not all hope is lost. Can we actually see the tape spinning? Yes, it spins. That's odd. So what happened here? Ah, you see, this direction it stops. And now we have the same issue. And it's also not really happy when we want to do fast forward, although this works now. So I hope somebody has some tips what to do. And you see it stopped now. Maybe the tape is all... the tape is done, so we are good here. Rewind actually works, so I guess we are getting there. But now it stopped. But here's the thing, let me just turn it off real quick. Turned it off. Here's the thing, I'm actually a little bit clueless here for one reason. Because usually if you have a tape deck like this and you have that problem, it's mostly here, these, and here, right, these rubbers, which are actually driving the belts. So these rubber belts are usually a problem, and then it's an easy fix if we replace them, but they are in actually good shape. Yeah. There's actually really nothing bad here. So that's it for today. I'm gonna try to fix that problem because I kind of like that thing here. And yeah, if you're interested, just stay tuned how we are trying to fix the Kenwood stereo double cassette deck KX-W6020. And it's a pretty nice tape deck, vintage, and I'll try to find out in the description when this one was built. And yeah, that's all for just for fun. Before we end this video, you hear that noise already, right? So I actually have this nice tape here, so it's a tape cleaner, and of course it doesn't make any sense in the remedy of the problem we have here, but I thought I'm going to show it to you anyways. And basically what it does, it spins inside like crazy, and then you see these brushes are cleaning it. Let's just for fun put it the other part of the tape deck. At least this one is not killing my cassette tape then. Let's see what happens here. Actually, fast forward works. You see the counter running here. You see that? So again, just realize one thing. This appears to spin a little bit faster than the other direction. So what happens if we press play? No way. That is strange, because you see now, if we fast forward this direction, it actually works. But if we press play, sorry, it's not working. Pretty odd. Anyways, that's it for today's video, and thanks for watching.